Hey guys, what's going on? So I have not done a top 10 video in a while, and I did a couple of them and then things got crazy. So I'm going to be doing my top 10 favorite Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. moments of season 3. I went back and I watched the season, and I think the initial list that I had was like 48 moments. There were a lot. There's a lot of episodes in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. seasons, and it's just a lot. So maybe your favorite moment might not have made the list, but yeah, leave it in the comments what your favorite moment is, and I'm sure it like just missed the cut or was close to, because it was like insane trying to figure out what moments I wanted to include on this list. And also, I don't know, I just went with moments that I felt were either really unique or special or really memorable. So yeah, let's get started. So number 10 is Lash arriving instead of Lincoln to meet up with Hive and Daisy. The whole scene was pretty epic, but that initial moment where, you know, like the door comes down and it is Lash, it was just such a great, really kind of like crowd-pleasing moment, at least it was for me. And I just thought, I liked how they handled Lash. I'm not entirely happy with how he died. I thought he could have gone a little more epically, but that moment for sure was absolutely amazing and it had to make the list. Number 9 is when Daisy, it comes out that Daisy was the one that was swayed by Hive. I think I figured it out just a little bit before, but I loved the whole episode in general and I liked watching it again. It's kind of a fun mystery episode, and it was one of the only times that they could really do that, and I really liked that. And I liked that they made it, you know, kind of a really big character in the show, and it wasn't just, you know, one of the newer Inhumans that came. By the way, where was Joey in the finale? Anybody know where he went? Did I miss that? Where is he? But anyway, I thought the moment was epic, and, you know, just everyone else finding out that it had to have been her because the entire base starts quaking. It was just a really kind of big and epic moment, especially for her character. Number 8 is Ward shooting Rosalind. Oh my God. I mean, you can go back and watch my reaction to that. I freaked out. I loved her. I thought she was a great character, and it was just so sad to see, just like in an instant she was done, and it was really, really sad to see. But it was such a great way to start the episode. You think episode 9, you have one more until the mid-season finale, and I feel like you weren't entirely expecting, or I wasn't entirely expecting, to be a huge episode. I thought it was going to be a little more build-up. But they really did villainize Ward. They have before, but really solidify it all in that moment. And I just, they pulled off a pretty shocking thing for me. Number 7 is a little more of a deeper moment than the rest. You know, a lot of them are pretty epic, but number 7 is the conversation between Hive and Lincoln before they're about to die. I loved that that's how they kind of ended the season. It wasn't the final scene, but it was close to. And it was just such a beautiful conversation where it's like they're both about to die and everything kind of goes away at that point, and it's more about, you know, seeing the world was such a big moment for Lincoln. And I don't know, I just really liked the way that they wrote that scene. I thought it was beautiful and heartbreaking all at the same time. And I wasn't the biggest fan of Lincoln. I didn't hate him, but if I had to choose somebody of the group to go, it was him. So, and I'm sure you saw that in my reaction, like I was kind of like, okay, you know, But even in that moment, I thought it was really kind of heartbreaking and sad, but also weirdly heartwarming, to have they both kind of got a lot of perspective on their life as it was ending. So I really loved that moment. Number 6 is one of the most epic moments of the show, and a reminder to us all that Coulson is, the head boss in this bitch, and that was his jump at the end of episode 9 to get into the portal. What? I freaking loved that moment. It was insane. He was not gonna let Ward get away if it was the last thing he did. I mean, really talk about threading the needle. I literally, when I was looking for pictures and screen capping pictures for for this video, I could not get a picture of you seeing him jumping, because that's how fast the motherfucker went. It was amazing. Number 5, and I'm sure some of you might disagree with this, I don't know. To me, this moment gave me chills beyond belief, and it was Fitzs Meltdown at the end of the premiere, where he's literally yelling at the big rock that swallowed up Simmons. To me, sometimes big moments do not have to be somebody's death or something huge happening in any sort of way. That moment was so amazing because he's such a brilliant actor, and you could feel the pain of Fitz just wanting to find Simmons. He broke my heart in that scene, and I don't know, it always, whenever I see it, it gives me chills. And I know that he finds her and she's okay and everything's okay at the end of the day, but every time I rewatch that scene, it just blows me away, and I had to put it on this list. Number 4 is from the finale, and it is when Daisy begs Hive to become a part of Hive again. I cannot express how much I loved this scene. I liked that she didn't just get out of Hive's sway, so to speak, and just be like, okay, now I'm gonna fight him and I'm gonna kill him or whatever. She had a very human reaction to that, and that's why I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is so overlooked. It has epic moments and people see it as kind of a superhero show, and it is, but I think the writing sometimes can really be on point, and that scene just blew me away. It's kind of like an addict, and she felt, okay, going into Sky and Daisy for a second, she has always been searching for a sense of purpose, for a sense of belonging, for a sense of family, and all of that. Even though she was, it wasn't really real what she was under the sway of Hive, she felt a sense of purpose. She knew who she was. She's not really having an identity crisis anymore. She wasn't pulled in separate directions, even though it was kind of the wrong direction. I think it fulfilled something in her that she's been searching for such a long time. And to see her just be so desperate, and then to see her be so filled with rage when she realizes she can't ever get that back. I just thought they really nailed that scene, and it was so beautifully done. Number 3 was such a big moment for a lot of people involved, and that is when Coulson kills Ward. All right, it's so hard to explain these. I've said this in videos before. I loved Ward. I absolutely loved Ward. I did not root for him, but I have this thing where if an evil character is written so well, I don't know. I loved that they took the typical, just to talk about Ward for a second, the typical jock agent guy, and made him into such a dynamic, crazy, and really evil character, but it just really blew me away. And you could tell it was kind of time for him to go. He was really starting to cross a lot of lines as time went on. And again, I talked about this in, I think, my weekly chat for the episode, but I loved the moment where Coulson kills him, because Coulson does it out of revenge, out of rage, which is a lot of what Ward was doing after Kara, as misguided as that was, because he is the one who shot Kara. But it really came full circle. It's like, to kill the monster, you had to become the monster kind of thing. I said this before, but I'm a little more upset to be losing the character of Ward more so than the character of Lincoln, just because I thought he was really a great dynamic for the show, and I just really liked his crazy ass. So that's gonna be kind of sad moving forward, to not have that, always that like guy that just throws a wrench in the plans like all the time. But that moment was really great, and I liked that it was like his hand that crushed him, and I don't know, I just thought it was a very well done moment, even though I was kind of sad to be losing such a good bad guy. Number two, I mean, you know, it's an emotional moment when nobody dies and you are crying your eyes out and bawling. Like, you know they have a spinoff, not anymore, but you know they had a spinoff, and you're still really fucking sad about it. I was. So obviously I'm talking about Bobbi and Hunter leaving and that final scene in the bar. I loved that episode. It is probably one of my favorites of the entire season, possibly the entire show. Watching Bobbi and Hunter get to say goodbye to everybody, and I think they did the order of the people very well, although I kind of wish that they landed on Mac. Like, I know Coulson's kind of the head honcho and all that, but you know, there's part of me that kind of wishes that Mac was kind of the last. Oh my god. Anyway, but the whole scene just makes me tear up and cry. What a beautiful way, and you know that it's just such a great goodbye to these two characters that I always said that, you know, in the second season, you know, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. really did the impossible. A lot of times with new characters, you know, fans of the show were a little apprehensive and like, I don't know how I feel about this guy or this girl or whatever. And I just felt like I fell in love with Bobbi and Hunter right away, and Mac, and they really did the impossible with that. And I mean, okay, let's be real. We need them back. If they're not going to get their spin-off, they better be back on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And we need to make that happen right now. Does anybody know anything about that? I haven't looked it up. So if you know anything, if they're coming back or what's going on, please leave it in the comments and let a girl know. Thank you. And number one, this might be a little biased if you know me and you know my channel and you know who my favorite is. But it is everyone saving Jemma through the portal in episode 2. Although you see it from the other perspective in episode 5. I was traumatized because Jemma was my favorite, and I just was nervous that she was going to like end up being dead or something horrible was going to happen. And to know in the second episode we got some closure on it, and we were able to get her, and that Fitzs went in after. I mean, I know, I'm just like, I mean, my heart, but Fitzs went in after her and got her out. I thought the whole scene was done very well, and it was so tense. You're like, what? The whole time. And of course, like, after the whole thing explodes and Daisy can't hold it any longer, you're just like sitting there with like, you have no breath, and you're like, okay, is Fitzs there? Is Simmons there? Who's there? I don't know. And it turns out that both of them were there, and it was a nice and happy ending. It got a little messier after that, but that for sure, I think, was my favorite moment of the show, and the most fun I ever had watching the show, just praying that she was gonna come out of that portal. So yeah, that's my favorite moment. You may not agree with this list, but let me know what you think. By the way, I'm very aware that May and Mac really didn't make any of the list of the moments, and it was really kind of sad because I love them both so much, especially May. But I will say Mac's axe shotgun moment, that almost made the cut. It was really close because I really loved that moment. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.